Oh, what is going on? What is going on? What is going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome from. We have a special guest in the house tonight, our very own Ricky Heath. Thank you for joining E-Man and myself. Thank you.
What's up, fellas?
Wow. Doing great, doing great. Um, very excited to be chatting with you, with the Ricky He, aka Kenny Lou, aka the most patient guy in horror TV. Like, I watch your character all the time, and I'm like, yo, I don't know how this guy's not screaming at after every episode.
Yeah.
So I did want to kick this off with the audience, and I'm gonna try to keep this fun. I'm not gonna ask anything too hard, but definitely gonna have a good time.
I'm gonna be serious.
It's serious.
Yes.
So, Ricky in season Kenny, Ricky. I'm always calling you Ricky. Kenny in season 3. Your character's going on a really cool arc this season. You know, like I remember one time you and I spoke and I brought up like comic books and you mentioned like being like a Nightwing fan. And Kenny ironically seems to be all going on his Nightwing arc, right?
Yeah.
Like he started off as, you know, Robin to Boyd's Batman. He kind of left. Now he's back, but things aren't exactly the way they left. Can you talk a little bit about Kenny's evolution as a leader, especially as we saw him step up as Boyd kind of checked out? Really like to get your perspective on Kenny's arc this season.
Yeah, like Kenny is I mean, everybody knows like he's just had so much taken away from him that I think he has no choice but to grow. And I saw this on Reddit probably a couple of days ago. You know, like a disgruntled fan was like, remember when Kenny said he was going to go set those things on fire? What the fuck happened with that? How come he didn't go set those things on fire? But listen, guys, you know, it's not a lot of time. We only got 10 episodes. Maybe that's still coming.
Oh.
But no, I don't know. but that's the thing, right? It's like he's had to really learn to step it up, and I think like losing both his dad and his mom, and before losing his mom, like temporarily losing, you know, Boyd as a father figure and a mentor because of the whole Sarah thing. He really had to learn to just like, you know, stand up on his own 2 feet. But yeah, it's this season, I think, and I think it imitates real life. Like, you know, you have something horrible happen to you and you lose someone like so important to you. You know, like I think you have to just keep yourself busy. He's just trying to help out as many people as he can. Cause that's the only thing you can do.
So just to kind of piggyback on that, like obviously the beginning of this season, I thought Kenny was done. Like he lost his mama, lost his situationship with Christy. Daddy is gone. I'm like, this dude is done. But it seemed like now he's moving into the colony house. I don't know how you gonna deal with them Diddy parties, but good luck. But you know, I'm just wondering, like, is Kenny actually okay, or is he just kind of going through the motions? Like, what do you think where is he right now?
That's what I think. I think somebody needs to check on Kenny. Because I don't know. No, I think he's I used to say, oh, like maybe Kenny is like John Griffin. Like maybe he's like writing like the purest version of himself as Kenny. And then I realized I'm like, oh no, Kenny is like got impossible standards of being like a really good guy. I don't know that I could ever be that good of a man. But he just like the colony house move makes sense to me too, because it's like, how else can he kind of carry on after all that's happened to him, except for like a complete change of environment and a complete change of scenery. And then something about the whole colony house move too is originally in the script and in one of the scenes that we shot, it got cut after he talks to Donna about moving up to Colony House. And like, hey, you're not still throwing those sex parties up there, are you? It cuts to him like moving in, settling into his new room, and that's when Acosta kind of walks by the door, and she's all like, oh, hey, you're Kenny, right? like, how's it? And I'm like, yeah, oh yeah, you're you shot Nikki. Line. Yeah,
You're
and
a murderer, right?
yeah, he's like, oh, yeah, you killed Nikki. And she goes, oh yeah, okay. And then she like leaves, and I'm like, oh, they have clothes to change. You got, they have lots of clothes here if you want to change. I think that's why they cut the scene, because otherwise, I think Kenny asked her to like take off her clothes like 4 different times. That's too many times. That's too many times. But so I'm hoping there are other opportunities for Kenny going on in the future, but who knows? I don't write the show.
That actually follows right into my next question, because I was just talking to Samantha. And I was like, hey, listen, my man Kenny been through a lot.
Yeah.
You new to town.
Yeah.
Both of y'all in law enforcement.
Right.
We just found out
he's got a badge.
Her name is Danny. Your name is Kenny. I'm like, yo, this sounds like a nice little situation. So what do you think, about a whole Kenny-Danny situation happening?
I think, look, again, I don't write the show. But when we had, and I don't even know that this was what was intended, but when I had read the script, I'm like, oh, like, are they setting up like a new love interest or like romantic arc for Kenny? But I'm like, maybe I'm just like reading into this. But then when I met Sam, when we first started shooting, she like comes up to me, she like grabs me by the arm. She's like, you're not going anywhere, okay? Because you're mine, And I'm like, I said, ma'am, I am in a happy relationship. You are in a happy relationship. She's like, no, you fucking idiot. And then she like bonks me in the head. She's like, if I can hang on to you and we do have like a romantic arc, my character won't get killed off as easily. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because they can't just keep killing everyone that I love, right? Maybe. I don't know. That's what I thought before, but
you are a little cursed, bro. You are
yeah. It's the Kenny curse. But
it's not looking good.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's the direction they're gonna take. Maybe.
Okay.
We hope so.
I want Kenny to be happy. I need some balance in his life. That's all.
Yeah. I thought for sure that they were gonna going into season 3 that maybe they do like a time skip. Because we don't know anything in between seasons. Like we just got picked up for season 4. And I know, pretty excited.
Yeah.
We have no idea what's gonna come up. So between seasons 2 and 3, I thought we were going to get like a time jump. And I was excited for that because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm kind of like, I'm tired of being sad Kenny all the time. I need some time to grieve my father and this whole Kenny Marielle situation. And then they're like, no, actually, we're going to be right where we left off. Also, your mom's gone. So yeah, it was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So talk about being, I think, one of the most loved characters on the show. Like, I know you're in the forums, you're watching some of these videos. Everybody in my audience has said more than once, if anything happens to Kenny, we're flipping. We're showing up at MGM, pitchforks. We're going to find where John's at. This is going to be a big problem. What's been your reaction to the fans' reaction to your character so far?
I mean, it's like there's so much love. It's like, it's sometimes your brain can't even, wrap you can't wrap your brain around it or whatever. And it's like, it's cool, man. Like it does feel, I think, especially with the Tian Chen stuff. If you never had sympathy for Kenny before that, it really kind of puts it all into perspective, because to me, like, Kenny, in more ways than one, like, kind of represents like all of us, right? Like we all go through these feelings. And even though the town is the town and you got monsters at night and you got the talismans and you got all these things, Kenny is like every single one of us, right? Like we deal with the loss of our loved ones. And also like we deal with like love and like the loss of love and trying to take care of our family, like all these human things. And so I'm glad that people like relate to that and can see that, he's just a dude. He's just trying his best. But before, for sure, like even like you were saying earlier, it's like, man, how has like Kenny just not completely lost it? How is he still so patient? Like some of the comments are like, Kenny's too aggressive, man. Why would he yell at Sarah, man? Why would he he just loses his temper so easily? I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, my dad's dead. My dad's dead. My dad's dead.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I want to give you kudos because like you really nailed it in your performance, right? Like you just reminded me, like I always put my mother's picture in my videos. I always want her with me when I'm doing stuff. When I saw the way that your character reacted to the loss of his mother, I was like right there with you. I was locked in. I'm like, yo, this guy gets it. He nailed it. So I just want to give you a big kudos. Congratulations. You did an amazing, like, people talk about what Scott did with Victor. I'm talking about what Ricky did with Kenny. I'm very proud of your performance this season, man.
I appreciate that, bro. And I you know, like I remember when we were doing the press junket and you said that, like, that really struck a nerve with me because it's like the whole point of like doing this and the reason why I love, without getting too fucking woo-woo about it. It is like, the art of like human experiences, right? Like I want to be honest and truthful. Like I don't want to show up and like put on some fake shit because there are people really going through this all the time in real life. And so I appreciate that. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I second that, man. Like that scene still gets me choked up. Just like I can't even. Too much. You did it too well. That's all. Too well. But what was interesting though, when you talked about his grief,
mm-hmm.
we kind of talked about this a little earlier. Kenny was ready to get bucked. Kenny had a plan, and he was like, "We finna go blow up some monsters." And I was here for that energy. So, and did you actually see the finale? I know you know what happens, but did you see? Okay. So like, my question is like, now that we know what came out of Fatima or who came out of Fatima, and I'm still kind of iffy, and I don't know what you think about it. Like, I don't know if you think Boyd will even tell anyone what he saw, but if Kenny found out that you can't kill these damn monsters, what do you think his reaction would be after he was ready to go full Rambo on them? What do you think he'll feel like?
That's a good question because that is a good question, man. Because it's like, if the whole plan was to kill another one of these things, but you're telling me they can't die anyways? I don't know. Also, imagine like, I actually have no idea, but like, imagine if like they're like, you know what? Yeah, actually, we are gonna do this. They go in the tunnels and they did set the whole fucking thing on fire. All the monsters are dead for like a week, and then every female in town is suddenly pregnant at the same time. You just came up with some crazy shit, bro. That might be the spinoff,
bro.
Like, yeah.
Oh.
Now I'm like, okay, that'd be awesome.
We cannot have a mass body violation
like a town pregnancy.
We already have the worst midwife with this zombie woman.
Yeah.
Would
you call it a demon doula?
It's a damn problem.
That's crazy.
I don't even want to think about that. Like, that was just nuts just thinking about that.
The whole town at the same time. Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I'm gonna switch gears for a second. Okay. Let me get back serious.
All right.
All right. Harold is legendary, and you mentioned before that he's like a mentor. Did he ever give you any advice that you can share that stuck with you? Like, in bonus points, if it's like Boyd level intense, like man protects his, like, if any good advice that you're going to carry with you into the future.
There's a lot. There's so much. There's a lot. But like, I don't know if it's like stuff I could share, obviously, like, because sometimes it's like like referencing his own career and then or like talking about mine and stuff like that, and how like, what are some smart moves in this tricky business. But what I will say is the intensity that he brings as Boyd is like obviously comes from within him. But when he is giving advice, like on a friend to friend level in real life. The intensity is still there, but it's also a lot like he's like a really tender dude. You know what I mean? Like he really like takes care of his people. Um, and he's like really, really generous that way. And this isn't like so much advice, but um, since we were just talking about like episode 2, when it was all said and done, we were like the last month of shooting and we were in Halifax, and like we all kind of go through it, but I was kind of going through it where I'm like, man, I don't, when I see it, I'll know, but like, I don't know how I felt about this whole season. Like, I don't know if, we all get shaky and insecure and stuff like that. And he knew I had been going through it. And obviously Cortion knew because we fucking hang out all the time and that's all we talk about. But Harold, one night we were out and he had dinner with Jack Bender and he came out and I guess he ate a couple glasses of wine and he pulls me aside, music's playing, everyone's getting a little drunk. He comes up, he pulls me to the side, he said, come here. He said, Jack, just let me watch like a really rough cut of episode 2. I said, okay. And he like looks at me with the just like such intensity, but like sweet, like softness. And he said to me, he said, you are going to be so loved when those episodes come out. He said, you don't have to worry about a damn thing. You were so, and he just went on and on and on and on. And now he's a little tipsy. I'm a little tipsy. Music's playing real loud, but I'm just like looking at him at this hand. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, and he like starts to, he's choking up because he's thinking about, and I'm choking up. It's, so it's that, you know what I mean? Like he really knows how to take care of us and uplift us and be there for us and tell us exactly what we need to hear and be honest with us. Yeah, he's the best.
I love your Boyd impression too. That was spot on. That was spot on.
Yeah, Harold, me and Cortion have a Boyd impression off. We take all his all-time quotes and we, a man protects his, Yeah.
I was about to print it out before you, but yes.
Yeah. We also really like, you can't. Yeah.
All right. So I like to continue poking into these what ifs, but more so about the mentality, because you obviously spend all this time into Kenny's brain and all that. So Kenny went through what he went through with Sarah, and that was a lot for him, right? Just to deal with her actions and, having to reconcile with the fact that, yeah, you're a little nuts, but maybe you're still a good person.
Yeah.
But now we see Elgin going through the same similar thing. What do you think Kenny's reaction will be to Elgin? Because he's still alive, right? He's a little one-eyed pirate, but he's still alive.
Yeah.
What is Kenny going like? How's he going to interact with Elgin? How's he gonna take that experience, do you think?
And there's so many, I mean, that's such a good question because there's so many unknown variables too, right? Like nobody knows what Fatima's done, and whether or not that comes to the surface is yet to be seen. But I do think that even right before Boyd went in and did what he did to Elgin, Kenny, like kind of like the final barrier, like, let's talk to the kid. He's a good kid, yada, 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 yada. I think if Kenny can afford a level of grace and forgiveness for Sarah, I think he's, definitely capable of that for Elgin. Especially if he's already had to pay the price of a whole eyeball. Like a whole eyeball is different. I mean, I broke Sarah's ornament and people were pissed. But Sarah takes out his eyeball and that's okay? Like, what are we talking about, guys? What are we talking about? Okay. But yeah, I think for Elgin specifically, I think he's got. I think he'll be able to come around. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how Kenny's going to move forward with Boyd. Especially now that Boyd is hiding something from him again, right? He asked him oh, what was Fatima doing in that shed? And Boyd stalled until Ellis came in. What do you hope to see happen with Kenny?
one of my favorite things about the show is the fact that like our hero, right, like our protagonist in Boyd, he's not a perfect person, and he can't afford to be a perfect person because, especially in those circumstances, to be a good leader, you have to make the hard choices. And even like end of the season 2 and early season 3, the monsters in the town and the circumstances made it very clear, we are going to break you, Boyd. And it seems like, like Father Kotri said, like if you do this, they win. They did break you, right? And Boyd has to just accept that. And I think that the dynamic between Kenny and Boyd going into the next season, I think, again, I have no idea, like, is going to be that. Like, I think Boyd will almost be like a master splinter, and just be like, I don't have it in me anymore to hold the moral high ground. It's got to be you. Whether that to be to me or to Ellis or to Acosta or a combination of us. No.
It definitely ain't gonna be Ellis.
I mean, as a friend, I hope so. You know what I mean?
I mean, listen, I'm with you. I just talked to Cordion. Shout out to Cordion, by the way. Y'all make sure to watch that because we specifically talked about his level of usefulness in the show. So I'm gonna post that for y'all later. I'll post that for y'all later. But I don't think it's gonna be Ellis.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, he's a baby daddy now, so maybe, yeah.
That's a low blow.
Yeah,
that's a low blow.
He's smiley baby dad, really?
Yeah.
All right, look. Let me kind of piggyback off of that last question. So I understand how that you'd want to see that for Kenny, moving forward, but Kenny feels like one of the few main characters that hasn't had anything weird go on with him. So you ain't seen no visions, you're not talking to no dolls, ain't no dead ladies breathing hot breath on your neck. Like, is there anything weird, frumish weird stuff that you would like to see Kenny go through?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, since like season 1, I always said that there's a bit of a pattern so far in the first 3 seasons where it's like for whatever reason in the first like 2 to 3 episodes in each season, Kenny has something horrible, traumatic, painful happen to him. But
he did have the cicadas. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Good point.
There's a side story about that, but because I'm not intrinsically tied to the mythology or the mystery of the town, you'll see like Kenny's like arc dip towards the end because we got to focus on the mythology and the mystery of the show. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would love to have something, because to me, I'm like, that's like low key like a superpower in the town, right? Like if I have a vision or if I have, and so actually in season 2, Kenny has that thing where the phone rings.
Yeah,
he picks up the phone, and it recites the nursery rhyme to him. Yeah. Originally, when it was scripted and when we shot it, it's just like static. It's just static, and so and he has that whole dream about like looking over his mom's that was a dream sequence, you know what I mean, like where he's like looking over the thing and his mom's like, oh, dinner's almost ready, and then it opens and it's like all these cicadas flying out and then the phone rings. That's what that was originally, was just like a dream sequence, and then he picks up the phone and it's static. That's why when fans are like, Kenny's heard the nursery rhyme before too, why doesn't he say anything? I didn't even know I had heard the nursery rhyme. So we'll see.
Okay.
Some powers would be cool.
Okay. So in a little bit, I do want to open it up and let some of the fans ask some of their questions. Not very many, just a couple. I hope you guys are ready. Get your questions ready. Put them in the chat. I'm going to give you a little moment to get your questions and your thoughts together. While we're waiting for these questions to start pouring in, I'm going to ask you a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
If Kenny was to get out of Fromtown, what is the first meal that he's going to eat?
Ooh. Well, assuming now my mom's in the show is dead, so probably I'll probably go find some Chinese food, something that feels like home. Maybe something soupy. I like something soupy.
I was gonna say
Especially
you got to get specific, man. What
Yeah,
were
yeah.
you?
I
Now
mean,
I'm hungry.
yeah, man, actually, I would really probably go for because the last season was in the wintertime and it was cold, and also it's like the perfect hangover food. And the town feels like a giant fucking hangover. I'd probably go for some pho. Yeah, I'd probably get me some nice Vietnamese pho. Probably get a little Viet iced coffee with it. You know what I mean? It's crazy that I'm saying this because I also just ate it in real life. So I must really enjoy it. Maybe. Yeah.
That works.
Yeah.
That works. Okay. So I got a couple questions that came in. Oh, this is a good one. Thank you, Gothic Chick, for coming through with your question. Ricky, what new projects do you have coming up?
That's a very good question. I just last year I wrapped this this indie rom-com. It's like an indie film because of the way that the money came together, but it's also doesn't feel like an indie because it's a crazy cast. So they were telling me that it's like an Asian Love Actually, like an ensemble rom-com. And so there was Lana Condor, sexy ass Ross Butler, Sung Kang, who's Han in the Fast and the Furious, Andrew Koji, Osric Chow, Karina Lamb, and then myself and my my on-screen girlfriend Ali Fumiko Whitney, and that was really, really fun, especially because it was between season 2 and 3. So to go from something so dark to something light and fun, and that was nice. And also I just did this movie, which was really, really, really inspiring, called Rock Springs, and I got to work with Benedict Wong and Jimmy O Yang, and that was that was fire because it was just I can't spoil it, but it's like a supernatural thriller horror type film, and some of the mystery is based in a real massacre of Chinese miners in 1885. So that was a very important one for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see. Let me see. What's the next one? Oh, this is an interesting one. And I don't know if they give you this, but what if they did they give you a backstory for Kenny for his life before Frumtown?
So he does. So John, we all had a bit of a call with him before we started, and he didn't really give us too much, you know what I mean? He kind of let us just run with it. So in my head, he was an R&B singer, and and he had 6 mixtapes. He was waiting against. No, he Kenny graduated from college. In my mind, his parents own a restaurant, right, which is very classic of Chinese American immigrants. And obviously Tianchen cooks up a storm. So in my head, he went to college, but didn't really know what he was going to do. So he was always just going to take over his parents' restaurant. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Let me see. I'm going to try to find a good one. Oh, Taran Matharu. Now, I don't know if you're
Taran. Wow.
It's the Taran.
This is the Taran.
The Taran. The man with the theories.
Yes.
He asks, how sneaky is the cast of From?
See, now we all know, we've all read Taran's theory, so I feel like that's got to be a triple entendre, and I feel like my answer will disappoint him. We're sneaky, I guess. We're sneaky. No, we're all pretty straightforward. Cortion's a little bit sneaky. He's a little sneaky. He's a little sneaky snake. No, I don't know. We're all,
All right. Hey,
now I feel nervous. Now I feel like I'm lying. Now I feel like I'm we're sneaky. We're not sneaky.
All that means is witches are confirmed.
Yeah,
witches are confirmed.
That's all that means.
Yeah.
4 and 7.
Yep. Tarot cards, all of them confirmed.
Everything.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see if I can find one more good one. You can ask one if you have a
Oh,
second.
yeah, I got one. I can. So I'm just curious.
Uh-huh.
How did you feel? Because I know when that script came, and you guys obviously read it ahead of time. How did you feel when you found out Jim was gone?
Man,
Ooh,
dude, that was crazy. Because, okay, so like, I mean, obviously, when you read a script, it's the general rule. Like when you're writing, for example, they say like it's about a minute a page, right? So you're reading this finale, and you're getting down to like, oh, like what the hell? There's only like 6 pages left. Like what's about to happen? And then suddenly it just kind of the way it is when you watch it, like it just kind of rushes into you, and you're like, oh my god, oh, and then and then you start taking on your phone. You're like, did you read the script yet? Like but it was we had always assumed that the family was untouchable. We had always assumed that the show was going to end with the family making it out or something. You know what I mean? Like everyone thought that. And so, yeah, it was crazy, man.
They some Starks.
Yeah.
Starks.
Yeah.
They got us.
Yeah. Yeah. And Simon is Jon Snow.
Oh, you think he's the Jon Snow?
Maybe.
Because I remember you said that in my interview.
No. Well, now you've seen it. In my head, there's a little bit where it's like Jade's character is kind of a Jon Snow.
I thought he was the Jon Snow.
Yeah. Right?
I thought it was him.
Yeah, because he's yeah.
nah.
Yeah, it could still be Kenny. I mean, let's not, like guys, let's not.
I support it.
Let's not rule.
I support it.
Yeah, let's not rule anything out.
No, I think it's Ethan. Ethan has got all the answers.
I know he's kind of. I used to always say like it's like it feels like because he says Ethan's character says he's like it's like a quest or whatever. Yeah. In my head, it's like, yeah, there is a little bit of that element to it, right? Where it's like everyone has like and then they, he broke his leg. He's got that little fucking thing that he walks on in season 1. I'm like, oh yeah, he's like the mage.
I thought he was Bran.
Oh, true. Yeah. Because he's all, and he's maybe, yeah.
All right, let me get.
Okay, go ahead.
One more in here. What is something you, Ricky, would do differently from your character if you were in Fromville?
I probably would have I probably
that would have been in Colony House.
Probably, what I mean? Especially if I'm there by myself, like not with my family, I'd probably get real high. I don't know. Hang out in Colony House. Like if Julie's like, hey, you want some? Probably, yes. That's the main difference. I don't think I'd be half as useful as Kenny. I think I would still try to help out. I help out a little bit, like, oh, you guys can go plant some carrots. We'll go plant some carrots. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna be like running around up and down the road trying to help you.
You're gonna be a background. You're gonna be a background Colony House person.
Background guys with like a plank of wood for some reason. Planks of wood to be moved.
Yeah, we're still trying to get a hold of John to see if we could be background characters. Just kill us off real quick.
I just want to. I'll sit on the couch. I don't have to do nothing. I'll just. That's it.
Yeah.
Go for it, E.
Yeah. I like to hear your theories. Who the hell is this man in yellow?
Oh yes.
Who do you like? Because everybody is pulling stuff talking about he the king of yellow.
He's Ethan.
Ethan grown up. It's Randall.
The Ethan one is crazy. I mean, maybe I haven't looked into the theory, but the Ethan one is crazy because I just He
just killing his own daddy like that. Like I don't get none of it.
Yeah. Imagine like saying to your dad, like your wife shouldn't have dug that hole. Jim is kind of crazy. Yeah. I have no real theories about it, about the man in yellow. But I do think that like there's a part of me that thinks like obviously like he seems like the next like big bad, and I just haven't decided, or like I don't know if that is the final big bad or is he the gatekeeper to the big bad? You know what I mean? So that's my only like kind of theory of it, is just like the curiosity of like, oh, so is this who we're dealing with, or is it going to be, he's like the person in front of the next thing? But what I will say is when you guys get a hold of John Griffin, and I'm sure he'll talk about it in the future in some of his interviews, the story of how he was inspired to create the character of the man in the yellow is a really cool story.
Okay.
It's really cool. Yeah.
Definitely gonna add that. Okay.
Yeah. And I'll give you like a short version of it, but I'll butcher it. But you guys ask him in detail in the future. But basically, he had years ago, like in LA, he was just walking or driving down the street, probably having a cigarette, and this guy in like a bright yellow suit was just like dancing, like having the best day of his life. And he said, "Man, that looks so like this guy is having the best day of his life." He almost looked like, like if like an angel, like, gained a body and just started exploring the world. Like that's how happy he was. Right. And then years down the line, he was walking around the same area and he saw that exact same dude in the exact same yellow suit, but like run down, and like the suit was all tattered and he was not having the best day of his life anymore. And he said he just thought that was really, really interesting. And so that became a character.
That's really dope because the man in yellow does look mangy and homeless.
Yeah.
So that makes
so
sense.
Specific. Yeah. I'm like, that's so specific. He said, yep, that's why.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Did you get one?
I got one. I'm gonna remix this a little because I've been watching you guys on social media and you guys seem like you have so much fun making this show, right? There's so many cool outtakes. What do you enjoy more, the actual making of the show or when the show is releasing and you guys go online and see all of our reactions?
That's a good both. Like they both come with like their own there's the pros and the cons. Like obviously when we make it, we're just having so much fun. Especially like when the gang gets all together and we just like hang out and like we go out. And Halifax, Nova Scotia has really, really great live music scene. And it's just a fun time, like to hang out with the boys, hang out with everybody. And but I've always kind of been saying, I have this analogy for like what we do for a living is very similar to like being a boxer or being a fighter, like not in the sense that like the physical toll of it, but in the sense that as a boxer, you're only as good as your last fight, right? Like if you've been knocking out fools like left and right, that you're that guy, right? But the moment you get dropped and you lose the fight, suddenly like he's washed. He wasn't that good to begin with. I told you guys he was, a hype train, yada. And I think that what we do is very similar in that like you're only as good as the last thing you've done. And so when we shoot the season, there is a feeling of like, especially when you have someone like Harold who's so supportive and letting you know that you're doing a great job, you kind of leave it. You feel like, man, I might be onto something. Like I might be the one. I might be really good at it. Like, I mean, like this is, but you have to wait like 6 months for the rest of the world to see it. And then when it's time for them to see it, you're kind of like, oh wait, maybe I'm not the one. Like maybe I'm, like you start getting a little bit self-conscious. So I like shooting it. It's a lot of fun.
Hey, I got a quick question too. I know we talked about Kenny and Elgin, but I am very curious, like just thinking about it more now, and I'd be so mad if I didn't get your thoughts on it. How does Kenny process what he just saw Sarah do? Given their background, given their history, is Kenny like understanding? Is he kind of like, oh no, she gotta go? Like
right in the box.
Just, like, what do you think Kenny's mindset is about Sarah now? Do they even have a relationship? Like, what's happening?
I mean, and also it's like she's changed, right? Like we're all assuming she's changed, but it's also so recent that she like did all the crazy shit that she did that it's almost like, at least when we were doing the scene and we all run up and we see like what happened, in my head I'm like, Kenny's kind of like, yeah, like why did we leave her ass alone? Why did we not? Well, we should have kept an eye on her. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? But as Ricky, And I said this to Avery as soon as we read those scripts. I said to her, I said, you have my favorite line of this season. I just think it's so hard when she goes, you know, this place, it takes so much from you. All it does is take, and it's taken so much from Boyd already. I can't let it take his soul too. Mm-hmm. I've already given it mine. Mm. And I'm like, come on, bro. That is so hard. And then she gets the job done, and you're like, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And she said, Avery said to me after that, silly ass, she goes, I think they're going to hate me again. So it's like, I'm like, I think they're going to fucking love you. You're like the best anti-hero.
Yo.
You know what I mean?
Yo. Me and Anthony were just talking about that because, when we saw it and we was like, oh my God, like Sarah's done. And all of a sudden I'm seeing all the comments like Sarah's the MVP.
Yeah.
Don't touch Sarah. We love Sarah. I was like, what?
Yeah. And then all like Sarah stands on business memes. I'm like, yeah, she's the one. She's still, yeah.
Oh, no, I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming.
Nobody did, because everyone's like, oh, she's probably going to go in and talk real nice to him and like change his mind. And it's like, no.
She ain't got time.
Yes, but no. Yeah. Mm-mm. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I have some other. So a lot of the comments, they're all like, what's going on in season 4? Can I be Kenny's kid? Can you like? They're little. They're little.
What are y'all doing?
They don't know how to act. We got company people. Come on now. I need that. Right. I did get one semi-serious question, and it's kind of, it's an interesting question to me, because I wonder what performers on the other side think of this. What are your thoughts on AI as an actor and as a creative? We know that we see it writing. We know that we see it generating video. Is it something that's embraced? Is it something that's hated? What are your thoughts on it?
I personally think that there's a lot of people are trying to make it out to be this big scary thing, and I think to a certain extent it really is. But at the same time, at least maybe it's because I'm optimistic. Like, I've always been an optimistic person. I hope that it becomes a tool that can be integrated into the creative process, right? As opposed to replacing it. Because the most optimistic people will say like, oh, they can never do what we do because we're human, we have souls, and maybe, but maybe not, maybe not. And I think that as long as whoever is using it is being responsible with it, you could use it to inspire you. You could use it to help you, but don't use it to do the thing. That's my main, opinion on it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What advice would you give for someone? And I'd love to ask this question, because there's a lot of people who are going to look to you, and especially with this cast, it's such a diverse, wonderful cast. What advice would you give to someone who's coming up and they say, hey, I want to be the next Ricky He, or I want to be, following in the footsteps? What advice would you give to someone who's looking to be that next person?
I always just said that, look, if you have at least just a baseline level of talent and you are really, really willing to work hard at it, and you have the patience and the stamina for it, it's all possible. It really is. There's nothing that makes me or Harold or anybody else Cortion is exceptionally pretty, so he's different. He's so beautiful, so he's got that going. But what I mean, there's not really that much. I a couple years back when I started to work, some of my friends would just start popping out and be like, hey, I heard you're doing this, can we talk? Can we grab a coffee? You can walk me through this. And at the time, because it was so hard and it was such a grind, there was a part of me that'd be like, man, I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, I don't know that this guy can do it. I don't know if he has it in him. But then I would look back at the auditions and the classes and stuff like that I used to do. And I rewatched these old videos of me when I first started. I'm like, oh my God. If this kid came up to me and asked me, hey, what do you think? I'd be like, get the fuck out of here, bro. No, you can't do this. No, this is going to go horribly for you. So it's just a reminder that we all start somewhere, and it's not to be too, but it's all possible, bro. Like whoever wants to do it, just commit time to it, work hard on it. Yeah,
that's good stuff. So we, like I said before, we do want to be respectful of your time and all, but I do have one question that I think some people would like to know your thoughts on. But like, I know you talked about what you would hope for Kenny in season 4.
Mm-hmm.
What are your just general hopes for season 4? Like, what do you want to just see from season 4?
Answers.
I just what I want to see.
Yeah,
man, I want to see. Okay, I want to see a couple things.
Yeah, look.
I said earlier that I thought it'd be nice if we could do like a time skip right between season 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
If we could do a time skip, that'd be cool. Just because Kenny has had a dumb haircut since season 1. I love for if he could. You know what I mean? I know we don't want any more haircuts. I promise we won't even take.
Yeah, I didn't even
Julie
go there.
already got you.
Yeah.
Julie.
Yeah.
She already got the Marielle special.
That's what I'm saying. So if we're gonna be cutting hair, you can cut mine off screen. Let's do a time skip. Give me a new haircut.
I want to see Kenny and a goat.
Yeah,
I feel like you can rock a goat.
That'd be kind of cool.
I think that'd be badass.
I did that for the Benedict Wong movie, kind of, but I think a little bit something like that. And then also, I also thought that after season 2, that Kenny would be like a little bit detached from it all, like where he's like just like he's still the nice, helpful guy, but almost like a bit of a jade where he's just like, I don't know, dude. So I want to see him go off that direction. I want to see him care just a little less. Just care just a little.
You want emo Kenny?
Yeah, let's see emo Kenny. Let's graduate from sad Kenny to emo Kenny, and then maybe mad Kenny. Maybe that'd be kind of cool.
I've always been interested in Kenny just going full villain.
That's what I also thought he was going to go rogue. There's so many moments where I thought he was going to go rogue. I also think that, and I texted John Griffin this one night, half as a joke. I'm like, listen, if the man in the yellow, for whatever reason, has any type of like possession power and he can take over motherfuckers, have him take over Kenny. That'd be so cool. I'd love to. Yeah, you know what I mean? I think that would be so cool. And then he goes, hasn't Kenny suffered enough? I'm like, bro, you're the one putting him through it. You tell me. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. This has been a lot of fun for me. This has been a lot of fun for the audience. They're going crazy at this. They're really, really trying to see this relationship with Acosta happen. I don't know what's going on, Lisa. I don't know how we got here.
Yeah, damn, the Hamhocks is crazy.
Not the Hamhocks.
Yeah.
Yo, wow.
Hey, your viewership is hella thirsty, guys. We gotta work on that. We gotta
They keep putting characters and relationships in this show. It just constantly happens.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for your time. Very excited to see what happens in season 4. You guys have really made 2025 seem feel really long, and we're not even there yet. But I'm excited to see 2026 and your new upcoming projects. Hopefully we get to talk to you about that as well.
That'd be awesome, man. It'd be my pleasure. And I always love talking to you guys.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Looking forward to our next conversation. Thank you again.
Yeah, man. Thanks, guys. And see everybody. Thank you.
All right, Fromley. We did it.
Okay.
We did the thing. So thank you all. Listen,
that was good.
That was really good.
Yeah. I enjoyed that.
He answered every question I could think of and more. He went above and beyond. So this
I'm
was
glad
really
we got
good.
the Man in Yellow backstory.
Oh man, the origin of the Man in Yellow.
I didn't have that on the bingo card, but I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. So
this sounds like something I'll see in LA too.
All them folks with the King in Yellow theories and all, throw them away. It was a homeless guy on Hollywood Boulevard. That's the Man in Yellow for y'all.
Oh man. Listen. Season 3 might be over, but these theories ain't gonna stop. I'm excited for it. Look, thank you all for coming in and tuning in. We had a good turnout tonight.
Yeah,
thank you all.
Appreciate y'all coming, supporting both channels. I know people are coming on both sides, so thank you so much for that. You got anything you want to promote real quick? I know did you just drop a video, or you about to?
I'm about to drop this video with this theory about what exactly is happening. I know that Kenny can't answer that question, but I am going to put that out. In addition to that, on Saturday, we're going to be doing another live stream chat, this time with the New Blurred Order crew. We're going to have Nathan D. Simmons joining us, a.k.a. Elgin, Mr. One Eye. He survived. He made it. Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. I'm looking forward to it. I hope that you all show up. Come show Elgin some support and some love, y'all.
Yeah, y'all make sure y'all definitely go tune into that. I actually got a chance to talk to Elgin myself. You don't want to miss that. I will drop that probably like in a day or two. I got to finish editing it or whatnot. So, but I do have other interviews as well. I've been telling y'all that for a minute. I got a lot. It's a lot of the I can't even name them all off. But the Elgin one, y'all definitely gonna want to see. I got
you got Ellis.
Yeah. I got Ellis. That one was funny. Like, y'all are gonna want to see that one. Ellis is hilarious. Or Cordion, let me say his name.
Cordion, right?
Cordion is hilarious. Y'all listen, we have some fun with those. So I'll drop all those. And then of course I got some theory videos I'll drop as well, and some good stuff. So make sure y'all subscribe to both of us now. Don't forget. Like,
turn on your notifications.
It's free. It's free. We not gonna bother y'all. We not gonna spam y'all. We put a lot of time into these videos and stuff for y'all. Hit the subscribe. It helps us out so much.
Thank you, everybody. Y'all all have a good night. Until Saturday, and when E-Man drops his, I'll check you all later. Peace.